Chris, welcome to the Washington football team. I know they're excited to add you to the football staff, but let's start at the very basics right here. You're coming in as director of pro personnel. Kind of help us understand exactly what is your days going to be filled with. Are you going to be scouting the college kids, the free agents? Like, where is your time? What does this job really entail for you?
No, exactly as it says, doing the pro personnel, which is covering, 90% of our time will be spent covering the 31 other NFL teams and the available players, pro players that are available that are not with teams. And then obviously, we'll do some work on CFL and if any other leagues pop up. But it is to help Martin, Coach Rivera with, both preparing for opponents as well as having the organization ready for any player needs that will pop up during the course of the season. And then dealing, being prepared for free agency, the cut, trades, et cetera. Just preparing the organization in terms of our knowledge of both the league in terms of teams and then as individual players as well.
I'm sure as things go right here, it's kind of jump right in, put you straight to work. That's how it goes. You've had a day or two, but so far, the adjustment coming into the move, coming up from Jacksonville to Washington.
It was great. I had a chance to stop, see my parents on the drive up. I've not had the opportunity to work either with Martin or Marty in the past, but know each man very well. Excited for that opportunity and excited to hopefully contribute to what Coach Rivera's trying to build here. So you jump in with both feet, but it is a little bit like riding a bicycle. You kind of pick up where you left off. You know what you're doing. It's a lot of little things of, okay, how do we, what film system are we using here? Can I, get the new computer? So you adjust a little bit to the infrastructure, but the job and the job description is pretty consistent across the league.
So you'll spend your time scouting. Can you kind of give us a little bit of a scouting report for the fans? Like, what is Washington getting by your addition here?
The biggest thing I hope to be is a good teammate. I want to be a collaborative and contributing teammate. And I think, with the information that's out there in PFF, the use of analytics, obviously what we have in place in college scouting, hopefully help be able to provide some consistency and where we can build a scouting platform to where all those things come together. Our college scouting flows into our pro scouting. We have our cap information flow into that with Rob Rogers. We're putting our analytics stuff in that, and it allows us to really provide a comprehensive picture of what's going on in the player personnel world and across the league.
You come in with experience as a general manager, 3 years with the Colts, Indianapolis Colts, in that position. So you joined Martin Mayhew and Marty Herney, both general managers as well. That's a lot of general manager experience. How does all that coming together going to help you in your decision making?
I think it helps in because all of us have had to have sat in the seat where you're dealing with a head coach on a daily basis. So I think it helps us in that regard, knowing what's important to coach, what's not important, getting right down to making decisions, providing the information that he wants to make the decisions. Certainly helpful in anticipating what issues are. And then I think the biggest thing is we have a pretty, it was a common title, a common job, but we have diverse, different experiences, of what you encounter in that job at different times, at different places. And that builds your instincts, it builds your experience, and it builds your lens through which you have to look at decisions. And I think, and Eric Stokes as well, it's a really exciting group to be part of. And we can we had a discussion yesterday, of different schemes, different type of players, different coaches, different type of players, and trying to piece it all together, and how we're going to put that blueprint together here, so it's exciting. And what it does, it just gives you more and more experience to draw on what's worked, what hasn't worked, what's been a good experience, what hasn't been a bad experience, and what we can apply here. And then I think, certainly, bring some humility into that room. As you said, we've all done different jobs, but our job is to do the best in the job we have here to make the football team the best it can be.
A lot of experience just here within the football team, but also you at home. I don't think anybody in your family had any other choice but to be in football. Your dad himself actually drafted Martin Mayhew back in 88. Did he give you a scouting report on who you'll be working with?
No. I've been able to stay in touch with Martin, and we've bumped into each other on the road a lot, and certainly a lot of respect for him. Always enjoyed our conversation, but I was probably passing out Gatorade and towels at the point. So back then.
It is kind of funny how life comes a little bit full circle. Being that your dad is a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame and your brothers are all in it, how much do you use them kind of as sounding boards as well?
Everybody's so busy, particularly during the season. And then when you do get a chance to talk, it's checking in on nieces and nephews a little bit. And then, we obviously now, we have a team to root for on Sunday, but you have a team to root for on Saturday as well with both of my brothers in football. But I think I'm sure my mom was probably hoping that at this point in her life she would not be scoreboard watching, but now she's doing it multiple days over the weekend. So it's we're very fortunate in how we grew up and the people we grew up around, and kind of loud around the facility, loud around training camp, so it's been a fun journey. And very fortunate journey.
Much respect to your mom then on that one. All right, let's put you to work. You've been here, you've got enough time. Look at the roster. What excites you about it? Where do you say, you know what, I can kind of help here as we get close to free agency?
I think we're still putting that together. Myself, I just kind of jumped into the tape yesterday of doing a really, deep dive in terms of getting to know our players. And actually, I told which I have not finished yet. I've done a little kind of cursory work, but really going into a deep dive. But I told my wife last night. She said, "What'd you do?" I said, "Well, I started with the defensive line, and I can tell you that looked really good." So that's kind of where I'm at in this process now. But just getting my feet wet, really, in terms of getting to know our roster. And have been provided, with evaluations, what our staff has thought. But I've just kind of put that aside at this point, and I kind of want to keep my mind fresh and keep my eyes fresh and come to my feeling, my conclusion, kind of get that solidified, put that on paper, and then, look forward to diving in with everybody as we put this together this offseason.
Last season, COVID really kind of threw everybody for a loop. Now we kind of understand how to work with it. But does that really kind of hinder and challenge what you're trying to do when it comes to evaluating players?
Not necessarily in pro personnel. It dramatically affects what the college scouts, their access, their travel. As you know, those guys would have been dispersed across the country this fall. That was not possible. Obviously, this year's combine was affected. Last year's was not. Their pro days will be starting, so it's much more of an immediate effect on the college world. But as we move forward, we will be missing some information that we would have had traditionally, both in college and pro personnel. But like everything else, the last 12, 14 months, you just do the best you can with it. And move forward, and you do, end up trusting your eyes a little bit more. You have plenty of subjective information. You don't have maybe some of the objective information that you would gather at the combine, pro days, other places. I think in the pro part of it, it's just a little bit more difficult to have guys travel in, work out, get them in your building, have your coaches put their hands on them in a quick workout. Those type of things have been affected a little bit, but Again, thankfully, we were able to get the entire season in last year, which is a tremendous accomplishment. Even when you look at some of the things going on in the sports world now. So the entire NFL did a great job dealing with everything last season.
Well, we're glad to have you in the building, going straight to work. Look, free agency, it starts soon. So we know your next few weeks already planned out for you. Appreciate you taking some time out to chat with us. And again, welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Julie. We're excited to be here.